All right, so this is a highly requested video for a lot of you people who do not own MPCs and you're thinking about starting off with an MPC. And you're wondering if you should get this right here, the MPC One Plus, or if you should get this, the MPC Key 37. And there's been debates online on which one is better. But I'm going to go through and I'm going to give you guys my take on both of these, and hopefully this will help you guys out. Bolo! All right, before we get started, both of these models will be available at Zsounds.com. So if you want to pick them up, go ahead and click my link in the description and head over to Zsounds.com. And both of these can be purchased with no credit or background check. As you guys know, Zsounds has a whole bunch of stuff on the site, and they have a whole bunch of stuff on the site that you guys can get with no credit or background check. Meaning all you have to do is order it, they send it to you, and you make monthly installments on the items that you already have, and all you just need is a credit or debit card hooked to the account. So if you guys want to pick up either one of these units or any equipment for your studio, make sure you guys go ahead and click my link in the description and head over to Zsounds.com and get you some gear today. All right, so we're going to do a quick comparison between the two, and I'm going to tell you guys at the end of the video which one I would personally pick, even though I got both of them, which most people who have MPCs that are die-hard MPC people most likely have both of them already. Now, let's start off with the MPC One Plus, all right? First of all, as you guys can see, this is much smaller and it is cheaper. Right now, you can get this for about $700, and if you want to get it used, you can get it for a little over $400 or $500 used, depending on where you want to go. But I always say, just get it brand new. Trust me, if you're just starting out, just get it brand new. Way better experience. Now, even though this is smaller, they fit all of the controls and everything on here to where you'll be able to use it, and you won't feel like you're being left out on any key features. Now, one thing that you will notice is they don't have as many knobs as maybe the flagship MPC, but once you get to using this and kind of learn how to use it, you'll be able to navigate it really quickly. Now, with this MPC, it comes with 2 gigabytes of RAM and it comes with 16 gigabytes of internal storage. Now, it is 16 gigs, but the only thing about it is you can't use the whole 16 gigs. It's only like 7.9 available for you guys to use if you want to use the internal storage. And that's mostly because of all the system stuff and some of the sounds and stuff that's already come embedded with it. It's not that much there, but they do have an SD card slot. So if you guys want to add more storage, you can just go ahead and slap in your SD card and you can just add more storage and you won't skip a beat. But just make sure you get a good SD card. Don't get one of them slow ones. Get you a good one. You know, pay the extra $10. Now, on the back of the unit, it comes with just some standard stuff on here. Does not come with as much stuff as some of the flagship MPC models, but you do have the MIDI in and out. You have the CV gate inputs on the back. You have a left and right input to sample in, and you have a main output. And you have the USB inputs on the back, one to go ahead and hook this up in controller mode, and the other one is a standard USB type A to where you can hook up a USB stick, or you can use this to hook up MIDI instruments as well. Now, one thing people always ask about is the pads, and yes, these pads are smaller than the standard MPC pads that come on the flagship models, but you're not going to really notice that much of a difference once you start using it. Like, they are a little bit smaller, but everything is all good. If I ain't complaining about it, you'll be all right with it too. And the other buttons on here are slightly a little bit smaller, but it's very slight. It's nothing to really complain about. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the MPC Key 37. Now, the MPC Key 37 runs for about $900, and you can probably get it used for about $700 to $800. But like I always say, just go ahead and get it new. Trust me, you'll have a better experience with it, and it'll be new. But if your money is kind of funny, just, go ahead and get it used. Zsounds has some on there that's used as well. And you have a warranty on it and stuff like that. Now, of course, with the Key 37 being a little bit more expensive, you do get a few more extra things. Number one is you get a key bed of 37 keys. And this is not just a mini key bed, this is a full key bed. And it feels okay. It's not the best key bed in the world, but it feels cool for you guys to have a key bed built in on an actual MPC. Can't beat it. Another thing that you get on here is the pitch and modulation wheel. If you guys actually use that. Some people don't, but most of the people who know how to play actually use these. Now, pretty much on the back of the unit, you get all of the same things that you get from the MPC One Plus, but on the MPC Key 37, you do get foot control inputs on the back of the unit. So as you guys can see, the actual layout of the unit is much wider and much broader. You have different sections on the unit rather than everything just kind of being combined into one box. And to talk about the internal specs, you do have 2 gigs of RAM, but on this unit, you have 32 gigs of internal storage. Does it make a huge difference? To me personally, no, because I'm still going to use an SD card. And depending on how big your SD card is, you're probably not going to be using the internal storage like that. At least I ain't. I've never really used the internal storage like that. But like I said before, get a good SD card. Don't get the cheap ones. Get you a good one. Spend the extra $10. Trust me. So with both of the units, they both come with the same size screen. The buttons and the pads are pretty much the same size, and they do the exact same thing. And they come with the same operation system. So it's really not much of a difference, but you know, you are paying a $200 difference to have keys on there, to have your mod wheels on there, and to have foot pedal inputs on the back of there as well. So they're very similar. It's just that the Key 37 comes with a few more bells and whistles, and you come with more internal storage. Now, if you don't want to go ahead and pay that $900, you ain't got to do that, because with the MPC One Plus, you can just get you a MIDI controller and just plug that into the back of the unit, and then you can just sit the MPC One Plus on an XTS stand from Analog Cases, and that'll sit up, and then that way you can just run your cords and cables to your MIDI controller, and then that way you can have basically the same type of setup. You see how I threw that XTS stand in there? That thing is actually kind of dope. If you don't have an XTS stand for like your MPC One Plus or your MPC Live 2, you might want to go ahead and check these things out. They're very professional, and they're made of steel, and they're made for professional users. So if you guys want to go ahead and check out those stands, go ahead and click that link in the description. But yeah, you can set it up like that, travel with it, and it works perfectly fine. You don't have to spend the extra $200. And then with a lot of these MIDI controllers, they come with pitch and modulation wheels on them too. So instead of just spending the $900, you can just spend the $700, find you a MIDI controller for like $80 to $100, and then you can save some money if that's what you want to do. But to be honest, me personally, I'm taking the MPC Key 37. And I know some of you guys are thinking, why? Why would you spend the extra $200 on that? Well, number one, I don't have to buy any other MIDI controllers to hook it up to. Everything is an all-in-one unit. I don't have to bring any extra cords or nothing like that. And it comes with everything I need, plus the internal storage. And even though it does come with the internal storage and I'm not using it, at least I know I have it there. Also, I like the layout of the MPC Key 37 because it doesn't seem like everything is just all jumbled up on one little thing. Now, both of these do not have an internal battery inside of them, so you're still gonna have to plug them up anyway, but I'd rather just have to plug up one thing rather than having to plug up the MPC and then having to go and run a cord into the back of it and run another cable to have my MIDI controller to work. I would rather have that USB port open if I did want to add in something else like another MIDI device or something like that without me having to buy like a USB hub or something like that. But if you did want to use multiple MIDI instruments with this, you still might have to buy a USB hub, but a lot of times my MPC Key 37, I just bring that one unit and I'll have some key groups, and I have my sounds in there, and then I'll just have like some extra one-shots or whatever else I need, and I'm done. Now, the only downside of that is you're gonna have to find a good case to take it with you, but you know, my folks over at Analog Cases has 2 really good cases for the MPC Key 37, so you guys can go ahead and, click that link in the description for those as well. Now, the MPC One Plus is actually a great deal if you're just somebody who just wants to chop samples, or if you already have a MIDI controller or something like that and you want to hook it up to it, you can do that as well, but you're just going to be missing out on just a very few things. But for me, the MPC Key 37 is my choice. It is kind of like my traveling go-to MPC when I'm going out of town. Now, of course, my favorite is the MPC Live 2, especially for traveling. I think that is one of the best MPCs that has ever been made. But, if you're just starting out and you want to get into the MPC world and you want to get something really decent, either one of these will work fine. Now, one thing I will say is, even if you did purchase either one of these and you wanted to upgrade and get like one of the flagship MPCs, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be just like the rest of us who have multiple MPCs. You'll be switching back and forth from each one. And on certain days, you'll just be feeling like working on the MPC One Plus or the MPC Key 37. It just gives you some more options depending on the mood you're feeling that day. You know what I mean? So that's my comparison between the two units. And if you guys want to go ahead and pick them up, make sure you guys go ahead and click my link in the description for Zsounds.com and pick up either a new one or a used one. Either one. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys learned something from it. And like I always say, peace out.